Hello, I'm Viola Trubitska, co-chair of Quinn Emanuel's Data Privacy and Security Practice. In this video, my colleagues Jennifer English and Teuta Fani and I will be providing a guide to navigating ransomware attacks. A ransomware attack is a type of extortion in which cyber criminals use malicious software to infiltrate computer systems and then threaten to publish or block access to the data. One can trace the first ransomware attacks back to 1989, when cyber criminals placed viruses on floppy disks, if anyone remembers those. Since then, ransomware attacks have grown exponentially, have become increasingly sophisticated, and also incredibly common. Because these incidents are self-reported, it is hard to know precise numbers. And industry reports give us various insights. For example, in a 2023 report, 66% of respondents surveyed stated that their organization was hit by ransomware over the last year. Another report for the year before that, 2022, indicated that ransomware was involved in 24% of all data breaches for that year. Given the ongoing prevalence of these ransomware incidents, companies should be prepared and they should know what to expect in the event they suddenly face data exfiltration followed by a ransom demand. Outside counsel can help. We can provide guidance on a victim's data breach disclosure and notification requirements, and we can also help a victim take advantage of privilege protection as permitted by the law. Victims should also consider deploying an incident response team to assess the criticality of compromised systems and the availability of backup and recovery mechanisms, which can help in the negotiations with a ransomware actor.
There are various types of ransomware attacks. Some common ones include single extortion, where a threat actor encrypts files and systems and demands a ransom payment in exchange for a decryption key. The victim loses access to files and systems, but not possession. Over time, companies adapted to single extortion attacks by improving data backups. Another example, double extortion. In this type of attack, the threat actor encrypts and exfiltrates files. The threat actor threatens to publish the exfiltrated files on a name and shame data leak site or the dark web. Coveware estimates that 86% of ransomware attacks involve a threat of leaking exfiltrated data. Further complicating matters, exfiltration may trigger a host of data breach disclosure and notification requirements under state and federal laws in the United States, and can also trigger concerns under other privacy regimes that may apply, such as the EU's GDPR framework. Triple extortion. In this type of attack, the threat actor encrypts files, extracts files, and launches distributed denial of service, or DDoS. A DDoS attack involves a large zombie network of computers that overwhelm a victim's servers or public-facing website to force them to crash. DDoS attacks themselves are not new, but they only recently have been coupled with ransomware. A DDoS attack is especially harmful to companies who cannot afford long operational downtime. Quadruple extortion. The threat actor encrypts files, extracts files, launches DDoS attacks, and directly communicates with a victim's employees, customers, or other stakeholders, warning them that their exfiltrated data will be leaked unless the victim pays up. We also have no encryption or locking of data. This is where the threat actor does not bother with locking down the victim's systems and simply takes the data that it later holds for ransom. For example, a threat actor may threaten to publish the information it takes on the dark web unless a ransom payment is made. According to security firm CrowdStrike, there was a 20% increase in 2022 in these types of attacks, with hackers exfiltrating data and extorting the owner of the data without the criminals having taken the added step of locking up the data. Sale of access. A recent trend, criminals have created a cottage industry of black market data access brokers, with cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike reporting that between 2021 and 2022, there was an 112% increase in data brokers offering access to a company's data and systems for sale to other criminals.
Negotiations with the threat actor. After a threat actor makes a ransom demand, the victim must decide whether or not to negotiate with the threat actor, and if so, make decisions relating to the negotiation process. If the decision is to engage in negotiations, a ransomware negotiation expert can be helpful in managing the communications with the threat actor. Beware, however, that although some ransomware groups welcome negotiation experts with the hope of a quick payday, others may cut off communication, delete decryption keys, or immediately leak exfiltrated data if victims retain a negotiation expert. For that reason, if a company decides to engage a negotiation expert, it is advisable not to make that clear to the threat actor. The ransomware negotiation method mirrors that of specialized crisis and hostage negotiation strategies implemented by law enforcement agencies. And the negotiations take place under intense time pressure and without knowledge of the threat actor's identity. The negotiation expert will first attempt to identify the ransomware variant and determine the likelihood of data recovery based on past practice. Because the scope and nature of the attack may be unknown to the incident response team, the negotiation expert will gather intelligence about the attack during the course of negotiations as well. The negotiation expert will likely also attempt to procure what's known as proof of life, or proof that the threat actor can indeed decrypt and restore access to the compromised data or systems. This can entail demanding that the threat actor send a decrypted file or a portion of the system prior to payment.
Whether to pay a ransom. U.S. government interagency guidance does not encourage paying a ransom to criminal actors, but notes that whether to pay a ransom is a serious decision requiring the evaluation of all options to protect shareholders, employees, and customers. Organizations would be well advised to consult experienced data incident response counsel regarding the potential legal implications of ransom payments to foreign entities. U.S. persons are generally prohibited from transacting with individuals or entities on the U.S. Treasury's Office of Foreign Assets Controls, or OFAC's, Specially Designated Nationals and Blocked Persons List, or SDN list, and individuals or entities covered by geographic embargoes or sanctions. OFAC's SDN list includes ransomware group names, related URLs and dark web addresses, individuals, server IP addresses, and email addresses. OFAC issued a public advisory in October 2020 warning that facilitating the payment of ransom to a blocked or sanctioned entity can result in civil monetary penalties. Even though ransom payment facilitators do not know who exactly is on the other side of the negotiating table, OFAC may still impose civil penalties based on strict liability, meaning that a company may be held civilly liable even if it did not know or have reason to know it was engaging in a transaction with a blocked or sanctioned entity. However, OFAC generally does not pursue enforcement actions against ransom payers that unwittingly transact with blocked or sanctioned entities. Negotiation experts may have their own OFAC due diligence protocols to guard against facilitating a payment to a sanctioned individual or entity. Consulting with legal counsel is also strongly recommended.
Data on ransom demands and payments are inherently unreliable because these activities are unreported. The few data points we have can be helpful in gauging the prevalence, however. Coveware reports that 37% of ransomware attacks it handled in the fourth quarter of 2022 involved a ransom payment. This figure is part of a larger trend of fewer companies paying ransoms over time, down from an 85% peak in the first quarter of 2019. Coveware reports that the average ransom payment for the incidents it handled was $408,644 in the fourth quarter of 2022, while Unit 42 reported that it had an average ransom payment of $541,010 in 2021. Overall, U.S. financial institutions processed about $1.2 billion in ransomware payments in 2021.
Insurance. Organizations should consider the purchase of a cybersecurity insurance policy. Many cyber policies cover ransom money, extortion-related expenses, and repair costs. Being prepared with a proper insurance policy can therefore help limit financial exposure and give companies an advantage during ransom negotiations. But it is important to coordinate with insurers and any insurance counsel regarding ransom decisions, and always check the specifics regarding available coverage and amounts. Ultimately, as with all data breach incidents, the process for responding to ransomware attacks should involve a robust and comprehensive data breach response, including outside counsel.
This concludes part 2 of our 4-part series on data breach incidents, and I encourage you to watch part 3, the next part, which concerns reporting cybercrimes, including ransomware attacks and data breach incidents, to government agencies. And of course, for more information on how Quit-Emanuel can help in the event of a ransomware attack or other data breach, please visit the link below this video. Thank you.